to my channel. It's your girl Adri. So it's a little change in scenery. I know it's been a while since I made a YouTube video, probably a few weeks. I honestly just got super busy and I could have made time, but my skills kind of lack in time management and I'm working on that. So like I said, it is a change in scenery. I usually do my videos inside, but just because of what I'm gonna go ahead and talk about, I felt like some fresh air would do good with this topic because it is not an easy topic to discuss. So some of you know, but some of you might not know, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and you yourself may be struggling with some mental health issues, or you may know somebody who does. And it sucks because, for one, it's super expensive to get help between psychiatrists and therapists and medications, because some insurances will not cover it. Even though you have insurance, some of them see as mental health as not really a priority, as something as like blood pressure or diabetes or something, but it's real and it's there. And if you're Hispanic like me, in the Hispanic community, it's just labeled as you're weak and narrow-minded, and if you just push through your mentality, then you should automatically boom, 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 you should be good and all the thoughts should be great and you should be happy again. But if you have anything, you know damn well that that is not the case whatsoever. And a lot of people like to abuse the whole, oh, I have anxiety, oh, I have depression thing. And that's one thing that I do not play about. Like, if you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have bipolar, if you have schizophrenia, if you have anything like that, it's honestly not a joke and people shouldn't take it like that. And just because for firsthand I do struggle with it, it's one of my biggest struggles, my bad, even when I was younger. So ever since I was younger, maybe like what, 6th, 7th grade, I had to see a therapist because I was an angry child. I caused all this trouble. I could never sit still. I was very inquieta, if you basically can say. And I was just so angry and I was always holding on to the past, and I was really, really good at always trying to blame other people for what I did and feeling like, oh, well, you made me feel this way because you did X, Y, and Z, and it shouldn't have been like that. Now that I am 25 years old, yeah, I'm mature now, guys, because I'm 25. Just kidding, guys, I'm not that mature. But I have seen quite a few therapists and psychiatrists in my day, and that is because I am bipolar, I have anxiety, and I do have depression. And I also have what they call borderline personality disorder. So it's a lot that I have going on, and you know, honestly, I respect my husband and I love him so much, and I give him so much like kudos and props, because sometimes I can't even deal with myself, so I don't know how he does it, but I'm very, very grateful to have him in my corner for it. So like I said, when I was younger, I had some stuff going on, some issues, and it didn't help either that people try to bully me, but I bully the bullies. So when they used to come and tell me stuff or try and start stuff, I was always told, once you're in my circle, that's it, I'm gonna defend myself. You can talk all you want from afar, but once you step to me, or step anywhere in my circle where I feel threatened, that's gonna be it. So it didn't help that a lot of kids try to bully me, and I mean, I didn't let myself. Obviously, if you know my family, you know that that's not gonna happen. And if anybody knows my grandpa, you know damn well he always fought for me. Like, he always was there defending me and stuff like that. So I had to see a therapist when I was like I said, 6th, 7th grade, because of some personal family issues that was going on. She did tell my mom that I had so much anger issues that I could probably kill somebody and get away with it, just because of how angry I was. And that was a scary situation for me because I was a kid. I don't need to be angry like that. And then I started like just being so inquieta and causing trouble where I couldn't really sit still. And then my high school years is kind of when my anxiety kind of went up. Like, I noticed it. At first I just thought it was because of all my AP classes and like the stuff I was doing, like my classes and all my extracurricular activities. And then when I graduated, it kind of got worse. So then I'm about 18 years old, and you know, you're an adult now and you got to make your own appointments. So I went and I made an appointment with my family doctor, and she's like, yeah, you sound like you have anxiety. We're going to start you on Lexapro, and that one I didn't do too well on it. I had side effects on it. I didn't like it whatsoever. It just was not for me. I said nope. And so then she tried me on Zoloft, after that, and I was already up to the 200 milligrams a day, and in honesty it made me feel like a zombie. Like, I didn't like the feeling of it. I just felt that it was just horrible on my part. So I was like, you know what, this doctor is not really helping me, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look for somebody else. So I did look for somebody else, and I did find somebody. At first I loved her. I thought she was great. And then my husband came with me to an appointment, and she started asking him questions about me, like how I react, like how my mood swings are. And like I said, like, I can go for my super, super highs where I'm amazing and I'm jolly, I'm the best person to be around, I am okay. But then I can go drop to my super lows where I don't even want to be around myself. Like, I'm the ugliest person, where I try not to be. I get super, super emotional, where I don't know why I'm angry. I don't know why I'm sad. It just drops really, really bad to where I don't even know how to deal with myself. Well, my husband had noticed it, that this was going on. So when the doctor asked him, of course, he was honest about the situation, and he told her, well, she's been doing like this, and this. And so then the doctor's like, okay, well, monitor her, tell me how she is, and we'll follow back up in a month just to kind of see where we're going. So then we follow back up. At this time I was already upset because I felt like, okay, I go to the doctor, I don't really tell everything what's going on, just because I'm in the medical field, and at that time I was going to school to do what I'm doing now. And I was like, no, because once that's on your chart and it's a diagnosis, that's it, it's set in stone, like, that's going to follow you. So I was really big on not wanting to be diagnosed. So then we argued a little bit, and I was like, you know what, no, you can't go to my next appointment. Well, he ended up going to my next appointment, and he told the doctor, and the doctor tried to diagnose me with bipolar. She verbally said it to me. I refused the diagnosis, and I never went back. Like, I was like, you know what, if you really think I'm bipolar, then I don't think this is best for me, because I don't think I'm bipolar. So fast forward, I think I'm like 20, 21 at this time, and it started creeping back up on me. Like, my depression hit a hold, like, really, really bad, and they put me on Wellbutrin, and I really didn't like that one either, but I took it because I know I needed to take it to make me feel sane, I guess. They also gave me Xanax for my anxiety, but I didn't like taking it because it didn't make me feel better, and I didn't want to be somebody who was always on medicine, because that just wasn't, I didn't think that was for me. That was the best thing for me. Instead, they were just like, okay, well, if you don't want to try medicine, then maybe you should talk to a therapist or psychiatrist. So I got a therapist. She was super cool, super nice. At first, I felt like she wasn't helping me, because in my mind, if I'm coming to you, you should tell me that I'm right. You should be on my side. But now that I'm older and I look back on it, I see why she said some of the stuff she said. Like me, I have this bad habit of holding on to stuff, and I can tell you, yeah, I forgive you, yeah, I move on, yeah, it happened, but in the back of my mind, it's always there. So I know that one wasn't healthy, and she even told me, and now that I'm older, I understand why it's not healthy. So I'm trying to let go of stuff. It's just a little difficult. And then I saw my psychiatrist, who, she wanted to put me back on medicine as well, and I had told her, well, I don't really do well with medicines, because I was self-medicating at that time. And she's like, well, let's not try the self-medication. Let's go ahead and get you exercising. Let's get you moving around. Let's get you into a hobby to where you're going to be fine, and you're going to take your mind off of it, so you should be okay. So I went ahead and I did that. And then on my follow-up visit with my psychiatrist, she goes, is that working? And I was like, no. And I told her I continue self-medicating because I didn't want pills. And she asked me, well, what am I doing to self-medicate? Now, mind you, I get that I'm going to have family who's going to watch this. I'm going to have some friends, and I'm going to have people who don't know me. Again, I'm opening up just to see if I can help somebody else that was in a similar situation. Don't judge me, because at the end of the day, you're really nobody to judge anybody. So when I was self-medicating, I had gone through such a horrible time, and like I said, I can't even tell you why. I was just so sad. I was so upset that I was drinking before work. Take some shot, wake up, take some shots, go to work. I would go during lunch and get a mixed drink, or I would go, like, especially like after when I would get home, I would just drink. There was a point in time where I could drink a 24 pack by myself and be okay, and not really like feel it until maybe the last 4 or 5 beers that I had left. And I was using marijuana because to me, it made me feel better. Like, it made me relax. It made me forget about everything. And I thought that was good. So I went to my psychiatrist and I told her. She was like, actually, you shouldn't be drinking because you're not 21, first of all. And second of all, maybe you shouldn't do marijuana just because the way your body is set up and everything, it's just not good for you. So let's try and get you off of doing that, and let's try some positive things. I'm gonna put you on medicine, and I need you to follow this. Like, follow this exercise plan. Just try and get out, try and be active. And I did it because, I didn't want to keep drinking. I was getting really, really expensive. I didn't want to continue smoking weed because it got me super tired, and all I wanted to do was stay home, and it just wasn't the best thing. So then I honestly thought I was better. Like, here and there I had my depressive moods to where literally the same day I could be super happy, the same day, just a few hours later, I could be super upset. And it could be the smallest things to trigger me. And I really did think I had it under control, but I was wrong. As some of you will know, not this year, but in 2017, 2018, my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer. And my grandfather was the most important person to me. Like, he was my best friend. Like, he was the one that I would always go to for anything and everything that I needed. Like, he was my number one in my corner. And he was on a transplant list because he needed a new liver. And we had got the liver. He was the next one on the list. He was doing everything, like, to go, like, how you need to do, like, the CT scans, just to make sure everything's good to go before they give you somebody else's liver. Well, he was the next one on that list to get it. So they were doing the CT, and it came out that he had cancer as well. He fought the cancer for a good almost a year and a half. Like, they didn't think we were going to have much time with him, but we did. And so he passed away in November. He took his last breath. I'm grateful that I was there through all the good times, the bad times. I'll probably insert a few clips of, like, me and him and pictures and stuff at the end, just so you guys can see how important he was to me. But I feel like, he did help me through a lot of my stuff, because anytime I felt sad or mad or something, I would call him and he would be there for me. But now it was different because he was gone. And also, I think a lot of my mental health and my depression came from when I had my first 2 miscarriages and I didn't know how to handle it. So then when I found out my grandpa had cancer, it devastated me more. Like, I was always on my toes because I understood what that meant. I understood that there was no cure. And at one point I worked in oncology and I hated it. I hated oncology. I cannot do oncology. I don't like it. It's too depressing. It's too sad. And maybe that had a lot to do with my depression as well. But I understood his cancer. It's hard to understand cancer because you don't know, like, the way it's going to play out. Like, you're either going to die or you're going to get into remission. But you never get rid of cancer. It's always going to be there. I don't give anything what people want to say, oh, you're in remission. No, you're really not. So then he went on hospice the second week of that first week of November, actually, because we had an appointment with Dr. Zhang. So yeah, he got put on hospice, and he was on hospice for maybe like 3 days. And then that Monday night, everything turned for the worst. Like, I'm grateful though that Monday I was able to give him a kiss goodnight, and he told me he loved me and I loved him too, and that I would be in my sister's room because I ended up going back with my mom for a little bit just to make sure that my grandpa was okay and that I could be there if anything happened. I don't know, something in my gut was just telling me, you know what, just move back in with your mom, and just until if something does happen, you're there. So I was there with my mom for a couple weeks, and not even a couple weeks, so it was maybe like a day. That Sunday, like I said, I'm blessed to have my husband because he was there with me through everything. But he was there and stuff happened, and then I lost my grandpa, so I fell into this major depression. I didn't know how to take it. I was so sad. And then I missed work for a few weeks. I couldn't take it anymore. I was super depressed, and I was contemplating on what to do. And looking back on it, maybe I should have talked to people, but I'm not really great at talking to people. So I took my prescribed Xanax that was prescribed to me, and it was 0.5 milligrams. And I felt sad. Like, I didn't know how to feel. My anxiety kept rushing, and I had my bad thoughts in my mind. So I took about 30 of those Xanaxes because I wanted to be with my grandfather. And that was my ultimate low, where I knew this doesn't seem right. Like, I can't, like, medically I know I'm not supposed to do that because I know what was going to happen. And I feel horrible for how I did it, because I feel like I put my husband through a lot of stuff that he didn't need to be put through. And I feel like I tested like my mom a lot, because I know that her and my dad and my husband, they were all there with everything. And then that's when they're like, from what your husband's saying and what your mom's saying, we're gonna have to psychiatrist. And like I said, I had stopped seeing my own psychiatrist because I thought I was okay, and I thought I was gonna handle it, but I didn't handle it, obviously. So whenever all of that happened, they did tell me that I did have the personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and then of course my bipolar, and my anxiety and my depression, which I already know I had anxiety and depression. Bipolar in the back of my mind, I knew it was there, I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to be labeled as something different. And then after everything happened, I was able to take a step back and realize that wasn't the right thing to do. But I was battling my demons. I was battling myself. Like, if I would have talked to my mom about it, or if I would have talked to my husband about it, maybe things would have been different. Or maybe if I would have opened up and came and asked for help, maybe it wouldn't have happened the way it did. But it happened. It was real. I have to own up to my stuff. But I mean, like I said, it's hard owning up for mental health issues, because especially in the Hispanic community, like I said, some of my tios thinks it's something that, you can't, that's not even real. And when you're supposed to be such this big badass, and everybody thinking you're the stuff, and you got this and you got that, but how can you want to be so confident, but you have this on the back of your mind? You know what I mean? So I mean, now I'm pretty sure like my family probably does look at me different. I'm pretty sure some of my friends who know, but not even all not really, because I really only told like my best friend and like 2 other people. It was a tough time. It was one of my darkest times, but how I decided to conquer it was, 1, try to lose as much weight as I can, because I've noticed when I stay active and I stay productive, that it helps me. And 2, stop blaming other people. Like, because at the end of the day, it's going to be their conscience on what they did to me, and that they know that they had an impact so much, that what they did and how they hurt me, that's not on me. Because then at that moment, everyone's going to end up thinking, okay, well, I did this, I did that. That's not on me. I didn't go do that to that person. That person made me feel like that, and that person may have done some bad stuff to me, but I didn't do any of that. So therefore, I'm okay. I didn't do that. But life is too short to try and take your own life. If you ever feel that way, I mean, comment down below. I don't know if you can write a message through YouTube. My Snapchat's available. I'm always open to talk to if you need somebody. Don't ever feel like you're alone. Like, that's the worst thing possible, is to feel that you're alone, because you're really not. Even if your family doesn't understand, there's other ways you can reach out. There's like hotlines. There can be someone you trust, or somebody like me. Like, you don't even have to know me, but my Snapchat's available. Like, hey, I need to talk. Can you talk? Like, I'm feeling this way, and I'll try my hardest to try and listen to you and try and help you. But don't let your inner thoughts consume you, because at the end of the day, I've been there, and it sucks, and it was my lowest point ever. And I hated it. Like, I felt like I didn't have a way out. I don't want anyone else feeling like that. I did open up a lot in this video. I have mental issues, and I hate to admit it, but things happen, and you just go about your business, and you just keep trying your best to get over the way things happened. But if you don't, I mean, like I said, there's always going to be somebody you can talk to, whether you think about it or not. Always looking for somebody to talk to. Like, that's going to be like my biggest thing from this video, and I keep repeating it over and over again, because you are not alone. you are so much more than what you think that you are. Even I know in those darkest times, you probably think you are nothing. You probably think, like, you know, because I've had those thoughts. But let me tell you guys something. You are something. You are gonna be something in life. You have this. Like, you were here for a reason. Things happen in your past. Things happen in your, you know, what you're happening in the present right now. But you keep on going. Echa las pinches ganas, ponte las pilas. Like, you got it. It's gonna feel horrible at first. You're not gonna know what the hell you're doing. But like I said, you got it. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave that video there. It's super personal. Like I said, I opened up to a lot of people. But like I say, and I will always say, stay hydrated, drink your water, and mind your business. But this your girl Adri. Bye.